The Second World War was a watershed moment in American history. It was a time of great national unity as Americans from all walks of life came together to defeat fascism. Yet this unity existed alongside a stark contradiction, the enduring legacy of racial segregation. For African Americans, the war presented a dual challenge, fighting for freedom abroad while confronting discrimination at home. Despite these obstacles, Black Americans answered the call to service with patriotism and courage, both on the battlefields and the home front. Their contributions were vital to the war effort, transforming industries and laying the groundwork for the civil rights movement that would reshape America in the decades to come. Across the nation, from bustling metropolises to small towns, African Americans took up essential roles in factories, shipyards, and munitions plants, fueling the engine of war production. They migrated north and west in search of opportunity, escaping the stifling grip of Jim Crow laws in the South. This mass movement, known as the Second Great Migration, would have profound social and demographic consequences, altering the urban landscape and forever changing the face of America. As factories hummed with activity and shipyards echoed with the clang of construction, African Americans proved their mettle, demonstrating their indispensable role in securing victory for the Allied cause. Evansville, Indiana, became a microcosm of this national transformation. Located on the banks of the Ohio River, this industrial city witnessed a surge in wartime production, attracting African American workers eager to contribute to the war effort and build better lives for themselves. The city's railroads, shipyards, and ordnance plants became vital cogs in the nation's war machine, and African Americans played an integral role in keeping those cogs turning. At the Evansville shipyard, for instance, African Americans like Samuel McBride took on skilled labor positions, welding together the vessels that would carry American might across the globe. The railroads, too, relied heavily on African American labor. The Chesapeake and Ohio Railway employed numerous African American men and women in its roundhouse and repair shops. These workers ensured the smooth operation of the rail lines transporting troops, munitions, and supplies to ports of embarkation, where they would then be shipped overseas to support the fighting forces. Their contributions were essential to maintaining the steady flow of men and materiel that ultimately proved decisive in the war's outcome. The path to equal opportunity, however, was fraught with obstacles. Despite their vital contributions to the war effort, African Americans continued to face discrimination and prejudice. Segregation in housing, education, and public accommodations remained deeply entrenched, and many employers resisted hiring black workers for skilled positions. Labor unions, often dominated by white workers, sometimes excluded African Americans from membership, denying them access to better wages and working conditions. These injustices fueled a growing sense of frustration and resentment within the black community, even as they continued to answer their nation's call with unwavering dedication. The most potent symbol of this struggle was the 1943 race-based strike at the Chrysler Ordnance Plant. When black workers were hired for skilled positions previously reserved for whites, white workers walked off the job in protest. The strike crippled production at a time when the nation could ill afford any disruption to the war effort. This incident laid bare the deep-seated racism that permeated American society, even in the midst of a global conflict that demanded unity and sacrifice from all citizens. The contributions of African Americans during World War II in places like Evansville and across the nation did not go unnoticed. Their sacrifices on the home front, coupled with the valor displayed by black soldiers on battlefields around the world, helped to chip away at the wall of segregation. The war effort created a moral imperative for equality, forcing Americans to confront the hypocrisy of fighting for democracy abroad while denying it to millions of their own citizens at home. The war also ushered in a new era of activism. Emboldened by their wartime experiences, African Americans returned home determined to claim their rightful place in society. They organized, mobilized, and demanded change. Their efforts helped to lay the groundwork for the landmark civil rights victories of the 1950s and 60s, culminating in the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. These achievements, while hard-won, were a testament to the sacrifices made by those who answered the call to service during World War II, fighting for a better future for themselves and generations to come. The war may have ended in 1945, but the fight for equality and justice had just begun.